I was just thinking a lot about what you said this morning about like acknowledging whatever thoughts when you're sitting and doing when you have thoughts or when you have like emotions and you just sort of acknowledge that it comes from the awareness, right?
Yeah, you see, the interesting thing about meditation, zikr, and so forth is that its difficulty is in its simplicity, because people are looking for, any of us initially, when we might think in terms of attainment, like we're going to attain something. We might think in terms of things we've heard, miraculous things or other things. There's so many reasons why we wouldn't. There's so many reasons why that we wouldn't arrive at its simplicity, and its simplicity is that whether we are having what we regard as good thoughts or bad thoughts, or religiously allowable thoughts or religiously non-allowable thoughts, emotional feelings, good or bad, the thing that we want to learn is there are no exceptions. If something can be experienced, it falls in the domain of wujud. Wujud means to be found. You understand, it comes from this root, to be found. So it is, we would say it is apprehended, it is felt, it is thought, it is feared, it is insinuated, etc. But we encounter it. It is something that we observe. There are many other things, millions of things around us that we are not aware of, but we are aware of those things that are on our mind, or those things that suddenly a horn might honk from a car. It's an experience it might cause us to be annoyed or to be alarmed or something. But in all cases, in the zikr, in the meditation, all things are held within wujud. So that means in existence / awareness, because the realization is that they are not different from each other. Existence, awareness are not actually different things from a metaphysical point of view. So therefore, meditation gets a lot easier because we realize whatever is in our mind, in our experience. When I say mind, it could actually be I have a backache, whatever it is. But if I have a backache, I may then have a thought about it, or a worry about it, or a concern, or a refusal, meaning a tiredness, wish it would go away, etc., right? But all of those things, they fall into the same category, which is called wujud. Now, if we approach things from that point of view, we are not trying to push away, we are not prioritizing so-called good thoughts over bad thoughts or anything like that. We are simply prioritizing, watching how we are perceiving, how we are assessing the quality of intensity of our presence here, or our absence, meaning our inability to stay focused, our being tired, whatever it may be. So we're observing all of these things. If we do that and we follow that lead, this leads to a remarkable discovery, which is that awareness is a like living substance. It is not just a word. You see, it is actually existence, witnessing, existence, consciousness, you see. So what happens then is our relationship to it changes, because instead of watching the object so much, we are watching the process of witnessing the object in our mind. And I've described this in a lot of ways. One way is that you're looking at a play on the stage, but you realize that you will broaden your attention to notice also the stage and the appearance of this story, because the story is the object that will intends to take away your focus and bring all of your focus into the story. Isn't that right? But what if, in addition to that, you were putting at least as much attention into where the story and how the story is unfolding? What happens is, at some point, the awareness is the stronger piece of what we're witnessing. And the object of the consciousness, because usually if there's an object to it, we say the consciousness of this or of that, that becomes the lesser piece of it. And that grows, and pretty soon we realize that source of witnessing and awareness, as Ibn Arabi says, wherever you are in all of the universes, any one thing or any one place is simultaneously the center of the whole universe. And that allows one to take more seriously the Sufis and metaphysical, not just Sufis, mystics of the world, the notion that they would discover oneness of existence. Buddhism, Christian mysticism, a common language about experience, not about belief. From there, one realizes that it's a living spiritual substance, you could say, and therefore one is strengthened by it or enhanced, as I've pointed out. There are verses in the Quran that you probably know, huh? Do you know the one, Ulaika kataba fi qulubihim al-imana wa ayadahum biruhin minhu. Do you know this verse? So it's you guys know this verse, huh? It's very famous. Kataba fi qulubihim al-imana is a general statement that God has for those people, ulaika kataba fi qulubihim al-imana. God has put into their heart, has determined that true faith, meaning true experiential faith. Also, it has to do with the amonat, the trust that was put into a person. But the next line is the one that the Sufis usually refer to, and they say, wa ayadahum biruhin minhu. So, and he strengthens them with the spirit from himself, you see? So this would be the common citation for that experience of those mystics that you will read in Sufi books. They will refer to this ayah and other ayahs about this issue of being in a state of let's call it the norm in Iman, even at a verbal level, and now being strengthened with the ability to perceive it. What is spirit? What are the qualities of spirit? What do we know about spirit in any tradition from the world? What do we know about it? I'm sorry?
High.
Life. So he's the living high. So we know that in all the traditions, spirit refers to life. Let's take the Christian tradition. Doesn't Jesus, whether you're in the Catholic world or the Muslim world, doesn't he breathe life doesn't he bring Lazarus back from the dead? So he has no father, right? There's the Annunciation, huh? Gabriel comes and blows spirit. Doesn't he blow spirit? Whose spirit is he bringing? God's spirit, yeah. So you see, he's bringing it, but it is God's spirit. So he's bringing spirit. What else do we know about spirit? In the broad use of the word, what does it represent?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, correct.
It never dies.
It never dies. It was never born. Because it was never born, it can never die. And that's why it can give life, even temporarily, to a creature. The creature dies. The spirit that was giving it life does not die. So that's another basis for meditation. I'm very stuck on this, and I'm scared this is going to die. My ideas, my feelings. If I could just get to know the part that's not going to die a little bit better. You see? So I want to know the part that's not going to die. Because I will die. Even I look in the mirror and say, the guy who was there 5 years ago is dead. This is a different guy looking in the mirror. See? Am I right? See, so we're dying anyway. Every day we are dying a little bit. So knowledge, and that's why God's name for knowledge, he has a name for the one who, Alim, and Alim, Abjad is Isa, 150, you see, 150. So in this, among the Sufis, they understand that Isa, Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, he's the carrier, the bearer of knowledge and life. So, not the only one who has knowledge, but he specifically, because spirit means knowledge and it means life. So the thing to grasp there, what I was trying to citation, meaning if we're using Quranic language, and one gets used to this, people say, well, on what authority do the Sufis say that they have such an experience? On the authority, for example, of this verse, which maybe is at the end of Mujadala or one of these, I can find out for you, but you can look it up. But basically, Ulaika kataba fi qulubihim al-imana wa ayadahum biruhin minhu. You see? So this is one of many kind of, for somebody in the Islamic tradition, but we don't need to be in the Islamic tradition. We can just understand that. How will you know? Because the pleasure hurts. It's too much. And so one is trying to actually turn it down. So it's so vast. So you will know because you say, oh, I want to know that you said there's a bunch of water behind this mound of dirt. I just pull out the plug over here and see what happens. See? And the problem is when you do, and you realize there was several square kilometers of water behind there, you realize what you've done, you see. And you say, oh, I need to temper this a little bit, see. So you will know it's not a fake thing, it's not a imagined thing. Its consistency it is never different. Water is never different. It may have discolored to the color of dirt and mud, but H2O is H2O, see? Spirit is spirit. So it manifests in things, the liveliness of the thing, of the murderer, of the saint, the energy, the liveliness of it is the spirit. See? So that's what you're trying to find in the meditation. You're not judging in the meditation. I mentioned a person has to be disciplined, because many people say, well, I'm sitting there and then I lose my focus. And I'm not kidding you, I lose my focus too. But I know there's the discipline. One has to bring one's attention and don't worry, like you say, oh my God, I'm spending time thinking about this or this. Say, okay, I will think about it, whatever it is. And I will understand that it is sustained by wujud. I will look at it and try to see the wujud in it. You see? So the best way to do that is through wajada, witnessing it. Rather than rejecting it, I will truly witness it. It's in my mind. It wants space. It wants to be seen. Some obsessive thing, some desire, some fear. and I will embrace it, and I will bring my awareness to it very strongly to see what its nature is. And eventually one will see, as the Buddhists say, that its nature is empty. Not that it's disconnected to the emotions of the person or the mind or the pain in the body of the person, but rather that it does not possess absolute existence. It is being sustained by general existence, you see, universal existence. And this is what they're talking about in any of the spiritual traditions.